Hey, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, what a showing. Beautiful. Feelings are
We
great. Feelings good. Good day. Good day as all.
amazing, amazing. How did you think we played today?
And you know what? Um, I'm gonna say an embarrassment of riches, completely from that standpoint. And Connor, come on, Connor. Connor was, I love it, right? And reading something afterwards where Klopp was saying that Pep Linders has been putting a bee in Klopp's ears for 3 years now that you need to see this guy and you need to kind of like pay attention to him, and for him to score his first goal, it was fantastic. A couple of assists, first goal. What a showing from a young man. Like, imagine the pressure and the stress that you have on Anfield, packed place. 50 something thousand on that in that stage, and to be playing against Chelsea, not walkovers to say the least. And their forward line is technically on paper pretty good, and he did great. And defensively was fantastic. I loved it. As a game of the whole, as a whole, we are purring quite nicely now, which is fantastic to say the least.
Very cool, very cool. And also, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Youssef. I guess one of our younger folks who's, he's been in and around the club for a few years. He was also a volunteer, big Liverpool fan, gets to Anfield quite a bit, which we're going to talk about shortly. But before we do anything else, Youssef, how are you feeling? Welcome to the show. So excited to have you back.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Honestly, it's great to be discussing the team that I love with the people that I love, honestly. And yeah, no, I feel great. I feel great. Like Jake said, like it's kind of I feel like Liverpool 2.0 is in full swing. Like I was never in doubt that we were gonna win today, and we did so in such a remarkable fashion. I feel good. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Very excited to have you here, mate. Now, normally, so firstly, conspicuous by his absence is Mr. Dan Fernandez. He will be back next time, but he had a prior engagement today. Believe it or not, as volunteers, we do have lives. Who would have thought it, right? Now, before anything else, Youssef, you have been on the show before. We got your Liverpool origin story. So if anyone wants to watch that back, I think it's in the first 5, 6 episodes. Look out for that. Find out how Youssef became a Liverpool fan, etc. But one thing we are going to want to touch on later on today is your recent experience to Anfield. So if anyone saw the thumbnail to this video right now on YouTube, you can see that Youssef is part of 3 or 4 Toronto folks that are hanging out with Jurgen Klopp. So we need to hear all about that, because to say that that was an epic... Oh, shit!
Yes,
I can
look,
swear. Someone
look,
just popped up.
yes, look at this.
What
Look at
up?
this. Look at this.
What is
Welcome,
what is
Dan.
Look at this.
happening?
He's on mute.
You're
You're
on
on mute,
mute.
bro. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're on mute. Okay, send him out. Send him out. Send him out.
Yeah.
Yellow
I'm gonna
card.
remove him for I'm gonna remove him for a second. But I do love the live nature of this. This is not recorded. We were not sure if Dan was coming on or not. Anyway, back to Youssef. So Youssef, we are very excited to hear more about that, because to see you and some of our amazing Toronto community hanging out with Jurgen Klopp, Virgil van Dijk, friggin' Allison, Jota too? Oh no, that was Sultan. Or was
We
that the
hadn't
same
seen
day?
Jota.
You
No,
didn't see Jota. Okay, well, the,
still
the manager, the captain, the goalie. So we
unbelievable.
can
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
it there, right? So we need to hear all about that. But before we do, mate, tell us about today's game. Where were you watching it? How did you feel? We need to hear all of that from you too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was at the Elephant and Castle with my brother. Had a day off today, so we went to the pub. It's been a while since I've been to a midweek showing. It fills up really nicely. It doesn't matter when we play now. The Toronto community is like strong, and yeah, it was. I felt really good from the first kind of 20, 30 minutes where we were pretty much playing all in their half, like and at that point my brother signaled to me, said like, I don't even remember them taking one shot on our net at this point. I think it was probably one of the best club performances in the whole 9 years. I think it was one of my favorite.
Whoa.
I think it was a very dominant midfield performance. In particular, I think that was maybe our strongest midfield on paper and in performance. um I can't even pick a man of the match. I think all of them did really, really good, and the turnout was great. The atmosphere was great. I had such a good time, and it was a perfect 3 points, honestly.
Amazing. So, without further ado, this time I'm going to try to bring the Danchais back.
Yellow card, buddy.
Are you back? Are you on? You are fully muted right now, so hoping that this works.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Numpty.
I'm just like bigging up Youssef. I'm saying all these good things, and he can't even hear it. And I'm like, man. I'm like messaging him on IG, and I'm like, listen, man. But I'm so glad you're on, man. Sorry, please. I'm not stealing any of your thunder because I gotta hear this thunder. If you know what I'm saying. So
awesome. Good seeing you too, Dan.
Give us the whole. No, absolutely, man.
Before he does that, though, Dan, want to hear from you about the Liverpool v Chelsea game too. It was a beautiful thing. It was a huge, huge win. Modern rival of ours. They come to town. Obviously, we're going to play them in the Carabao Cup as well. Few of their fans talking about as if like a referee made a difference today. Paul Tierney was on our side for once, by the way. I do have to say that. However, it didn't make a difference, right? Like we were just supreme. Yeah. Tell me I'm not crazy.
No, man. I just posted that meme about Shaq. I'm not familiar with your game, Paul Tierney, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, a bit of an unusual circumstance for me today. I was actually streaming the match from the Emerge room in St. Joe's, actually in the city. Not to bring everyone down or anything like that, but just had to handle some sort of family business and stuff. But all good, everyone's good. So so I was sort of watching that on my phone and then Emerge. It's a little bit different, obviously, of an atmosphere than ENC. But man, I was pumping my fists. I was. I didn't scream too loud, if you know what I mean, but there were other people screaming loud, so that's kind of a bit awkward. But no, what a performance! And I did catch the match again just as a replay, and what a performance! Darwin 4 bars, like he does more bars than a Cork and Dublin pub crawl, man. Like it's just like serious 4 bars in the day. I was really, really surprised at that. How unlucky is that, man? You know what I mean? How unlucky is he? But yeah, no, total team performance. And I actually thought Chelsea might have had a shout or a chance, especially that early pen shout. Mm-hmm. But, in the end, we're just class, especially at home. So great match.
Yeah, so all in on the performance today. I think it was exactly what we wanted to see going into such a big week in the Premier League. We're playing back-to-back games against the traditional top 6, one at home, one away. You can't really do better than we did today. I was gutted to lose the goal. I was speaking to James from our club before the game, and I was just like, I'll take 1-0 because I don't want to concede goals right now. Now I'll take 4-1 over 1-0. Don't get me wrong, but I hated conceding that goal. Like I kind of feel like anytime that we're able to show that solidity at the back as well, it just adds so much more to our performance. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
By the way, we're getting some comments up in here. So before we hand back to Youssef to just talk us through the whole experience, because that is part of what we're doing here today. Let's just see what people are saying. So Sharif is like, hi, Azaz and Jake. He's not saying hi to his son. I just want to say that for sure. James is like, the Danchais. Yeah, it's a pretty cool name. I just mentioned you, James, so just gave you a shout. Always love watching a game with James. Then Sharif says, I can say that too. I'm not sure what he's referring to because some of this has a lapse on it. So one day we'll have super chats and it'll be live, but right now there's a bit of a lag. Sachin, who is very prominent member now of our WhatsApp group, and he's been coming to the pub a lot, but more recently as well. He was in today, said, what a game today. Our boy Ray, when we see Paul Tierney actually ref by the rules, it appears to Reds that he has a good game. Well, I think that's in reference to Dan's. Oh, wow. Sharif then says, hi, Dan. And
I sure he's doing it on purpose at this point. Like,
yeah. And then he finally says, hi, Youssef. Well, I'm going to say hi, Youssef, because Youssef...
Yeah, now he's just taking the piss.
Yeah, now he's just taking the mic. But father-son banter is more than allowed.
Yeah,
Youssef, tell us about this whole experience. So you were one of the lucky recipients of, the Liverpool... OLFC Toronto, like other OLSCs, gets a chance to apply for tickets to certain games. You were lucky enough to be one of the people who was able to go to one of these games. And then some magic happened. At that time, you didn't even know what level of magic based on now what we know time-wise. Talk us through that whole day. We want to hear that whole experience and share it with the whole community.
I mean, we know what was going to happen. He just didn't know what was going to happen.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And the thing is, like, thanks to you guys, like you said, I had the the pleasure of going on that Carlsberg experience, which was unbelievable. But I thought in my head the whole time that it was probably going to be, we're going to go to the lounge, get some drinks, and then head on to the game. And that was that. And I was so happy and grateful to just be there at the game. Like, that was within itself an amazing experience. But yeah, we pretty much are taken to the lounge. Fantastic service at Carlsberg. It's unbelievable. They treat you like kings and queens over there. And
you are a king, but
Yes,
carry
brother.
on.
you guys are all kings, but yeah, no, honestly, it was such a great time. You pretty much have access to your seats from the lounge, so you can kind of directly go to the main stand. And we were watching the game. It was a pretty intense game, as you guys know. And with Arsenal, in halftime, we were in for some refreshments, and this gentleman comes up to us and he says, "Listen, I don't want you to finish the whole game. I want you right at the 90th minute mark to meet me back here." And we were all confused. We were like, "The game is tied. It's a pretty stressful game. Why do you want us back here at the 90th minute?" And he said, "Listen, like, I think I can get you to meet the man of the match." And we were all looking at each other and we were like, there's no way. Like, I couldn't even focus on the second half when processing that info too and stuff like that. And we were all worried, oh, how bad is it going to look with all of us leaving early when the game's tied, and what people would think as well, and stuff like that. But so as soon as the 90th minute hits, we're watching the half. It's still 1-1. Obviously, the game was still there pretty much. 91st minute, we stretched it. We just went back to the lounge, and the gentleman just took us through kind of a tunnel and then the players' car park. So we got to see all the players' cars and that. And then all of a sudden, we're in this media room, like just going through the kind of the players' tunnel and then just in a media room. And they basically told us at this point, "Listen, you want to take out your phone and record, that's completely fine. It's just that keep your voice down because there's going to be a bunch of interviews about to happen." And we were like, "This is surreal." Like, I think we were all shocked. And yeah, we're standing there pretty much. And at that point, I had my scarf ready to be signed because they told me bring something. And so we're all standing there. And at that point, man of the match wasn't even picked out yet. So they ended up saying, "We'll wait until we find out who the man of the match is." And then it turned out to be Van Dijk. So the lady came up to us and told us, "Listen, Van Dijk is going to be coming through here. And be careful. There's going to be players that have certain moods. Maybe they'll want to take a picture. Maybe they won't. Just try not to force it." And then, yeah, we were just kind of waiting. And Allison was the first to show up, actually. So we didn't even expect Allison to come. We just thought we were going to see Van Dijk. He did about 7 interviews. And then he came up to us. He's like, "Hey, you guys came from Canada, right? You guys came from Toronto?"
Yes.
Like, it's like he kind of already knew.
Wow.
And we're like, "Oh, my goodness." And
Allison
hi
said
to
that.
all-
Wow.
Yeah. And
So he knew that he got briefed, or he just
yeah,
Wow.
might have been, yeah. And
Amazing.
it was unbelievable. And Allison was probably in the most nicest mood out of all that we have met. Probably he was really nice, very generous in terms of like our autographs and things like that. He signed 3 things for me, like separately too. At that point, I was really shy of asking him, and he actually offered to sign my shirt. It was unbelievable. Like, he's such a nice guy. And after all that, he said, "Let's take a picture." We take a picture pretty much, and he says, "Safe journeys back," and he goes. 5 minutes, we're all processing this still, like all looking at each other, like, what just happened? 5 minutes in, Van Dijk just comes, and really cool as a cucumber, but obviously you could tell he wasn't really in the greatest of moods because of how the game ended. And I guess you could argue probably should have won that game, and he was maybe blowing off some steam. But super nice guy, said hi to all of us, and took pictures with us, said, "Do you guys want me to sign anything as well?" And he signed pretty much everything for us as well. They had a lot of time for us, we have to admit. We got very lucky with that too. And then while we're sitting there, obviously you're looking at all the player dynamics, the interactions. You're seeing, like, for example, Trent and Van Dijk and Saka after the game, they're all talking and stuff. Or like the dynamic is also insane. You don't expect kind of like with rivalries and stuff like that to happen. And we're still stood there. And there was an Arsenal player, I think it was Gabriel, that was doing his interview. He actually waved at us as well. Boo, but yeah, nice guy in that regard. And then before you know it, we were stood there for 10 more minutes, and then Klopp comes. And I think that was pretty much the highlight, because I think maybe they knew Klopp was coming and they didn't tell us, maybe to kind of see our reaction. I had no idea, but I was puzzled. Like I remember this quite clearly, that when I saw him, I kind of lost my wording. I kind of forgot how to speak for a second. Like these are my heroes, guys. So like seeing them in the flesh, it was unbelievable, honestly. Don't tell my wife. It was probably the best day of my life. Like honestly, without a doubt.
We're clipping this, just so you know. We're clipping this for
She's
blackmail,
asleep, guys,
but
so
sure.
I definitely know she's not watching this live, but
yeah.
We'll send it to her. Don't worry.
And Klopp was so nice as well. You could tell also he didn't want to stay too long. Obviously wanted to get back to the team, but he took a picture with us. Where are you guys flying from? We told him we came all the way from Toronto and stuff. Like the fact that there was some side chat and stuff was great, honestly.
Amazing.
And we had Adam also from OLSC, and he asked him, "Can you play left back?" When we had all these injuries, basically, he told him, "Hey, can you sub in and play left back?" It was hilarious, honestly. It was such a great experience, guys.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Just hearing that, just wow.
Yeah, glad
I want to hear Jake and Dan reacting to that. Like,
holy shit.
Tell us how you feel, guys.
Like I met the team once when I was in Michigan, and I had the same reaction, and I was like very overwhelmed by that experience, because here you are seeing these people that you adore from miles and miles away. Then they're not even like 6 feet away from you. Then all of a sudden you're like shaking hands, you're taking pictures, and you're like, these gods as we see them are like mortal people just in front of us, and they're humble, and they'll take pictures, and they take time to just and it's just a very overwhelming experience when you see them and you're like, wait a minute, you I just saw you last week on TV, and you're just and this and you're just flabbergasted, because you're just caught, right? You're caught in the moments, and then it is completely like an overwhelming experience. And just I can't wait for we've got so many people that we keep sending over, which is a fantastic LFC Toronto thing. But get some beer, take some, come to the pub, get some raffles plus ballots, and who knows, you could be the next.
Get some Carlsberg.
Great.
Get some Carlsberg, yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to echo the same thing as Jake. It was just because I was on that tour, that 2018 tour, and I, funny enough, I was a little bit shy meeting my heroes, and actually just a shout out to a former club treasurer, finance man, Ryan Jordan. He actually went over with my Sadio Mane number 19 kit. Went over he was about to leave the sort of like the field and all that, because I think we were there for training or whatever. And then he just reached over. He just tried his hardest, and I actually have a custom message from Sadio Mane. I still have to frame the shirt, but it was like one of one sort of thing. It's crazy, but he basically scratched out the 19 because he just changed to number 10.
10, yeah.
And basically put some wording around that. So I actually got to take a picture of that, maybe post that as well. But anyway, just to comment on your experience there, Youssef, I think the one thing that stuck out for me was, obviously I saw it on IG and everything, but it's different from Michigan, where you were there, and like the interview apparatus that they have over there, you're there, like they're in that mix in the media zone, like that we see on TV all the time, right? BBC or Sky or whatever else, and it's just crazy that you guys were there. And the only club really around. There's a ton of OLCs are out, sort of out there around the world, and it's just amazing that you got that.
It was surreal. No, I want to say thank you a million again for everything you guys.
Yeah, we'll just take the credit for that.
No, honestly, you guys,
dreams do come true, right? Dreams do come true.
I'll tell you what. Like, here's an interesting fact. The very first time I've ever been to Anfield in 2019 was because of you guys. That was my very first experience. It was me and my dad, our very first time for both of us. It was thanks to you guys. Going by my very final visit was because of you guys, with that added twist, whatever you want to call it. And it was surreal. It was unbelievable. Like, I got a lot of comments saying you haven't smiled this much, like, you know, in other like life events that happen. Like,
In
what is
life.
this smile from end to end? And I was like, you just couldn't believe I felt like my face was kind of heating up the whole time out of kind of like warmth. I was like, there's nothing better than this moment right now, honestly.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah, just hearing that story is crazy enough. But then we spoke last week. We had a bit of a cathartic Klopp reaction show. Didn't help. You know, I think everyone's still really sad and going through all the stages of grief. But now knowing what you know after last Friday, does that change what happened in December even more? Or are you able to compartmentalize the two different experiences? Like, talk to us about Friday. Talk to us about the fact that you were hanging out with him. And I just realized something as well, which is I was not on that Michigan trip, and Liverpool are coming to North America this summer, and we as a OLSC will probably go. We may or may not have certain access again, who knows, but Jurgen Klopp won't be there. So Youssef, talk to us about Friday and where you're at with the whole processing that perspective.
I think I'm far along now, but I was heartbroken. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I wake up at 6 a.m. usually for work. The first thing that I go on Twitter was that right at 6 a.m. It kind of felt like a punch to the gut. I love this man. Like, he is genuinely my hero. He's all of our heroes, you know. And like you said, it kind of put it into perspective that what happened in December. That's all I could really think about after finding out the news. I'm like, I genuinely met this man like in his last season, and apparently they had already decided in November, right, according to Klopp. So his decision was already made, and no, it was unbelievable. I'm still a little bit obviously heartbroken by it, I guess you could say, but I'm really happy for him because I think he deserves the right to pretty much say it's time. I think he's earned that, absolutely. I think he's only taken a 4 months break.
I was just going to ask you, you know, when you were in that and he was interacting with you and you know, like the three of the other guys as well, did you sort of get that impression from him that like he was just tired or anything like that, but or not? Like, you know, he's just so much of energy, so much giving. Like, did you sort of feel that then or not really?
I kind of sensed he was tired. And now that I look back at the news, I could tell he felt like a little bit jaded, you know? And had this news not been a thing, I would have just assumed he was just upset about the result, which is understandable. Or, hey, I don't like, this is going to be more media and I don't want to do all this, which I understand. But now looking back at it, I think a little bit of his body language, a little bit of his facial expressions. Yeah, he definitely did look exhausted. Yeah, like you could absolutely tell that.
I think the biggest thing you can see as well is his intro interview and his first day unveiling have been doing the rounds. He does look like a different guy. Like, this job does beat the shit out of you, clearly. And there's others, you know, there are other high profile, high pressure jobs. We're not the only ones. But like, if you look at the guy, I know, sure, 8-9 years, I get it. We all age.
It's also
cool.
aging too. Yeah,
exactly. But like, still, in the context of 3-4 months before that, he was in a really bad situation in Dortmund, which he turned around, of course, but like, still, compare that to now, like, he deserves a break. He's earned the break. And the last thing is, you know, particularly if 2026, which is going to be in North America, if the World Cup is coming here and he wants to lead the German team out before he, you know, decides to do his peace out for good, nobody can begrudge him that, because the guy, like, to everyone's points, both on our reaction show and today, he's given us the world. So, you know, we kind of want to give the world back to him as well.
100%.
Keeping things moving, I'm going to move over to Jake. Jake, we made a announcement yesterday. It was already announced on the email, but then we went live yesterday with the Anfield Wrap. The boys are coming back to town. Would love to hear from you how excited we are and just what this means to the OLSC Toronto, City of Toronto, football community in Toronto, everything. It's a really big deal that we made enough of an impression on them that they want to come back literally to the day a year later.
I mean, I think the inroads that we were making as a club from Toronto, just making the connections and keeping the networking alive, is fantastic, to say the least. to get these folks that are now world renowned, right? From that standpoint, they're great pundits. They're just, they live and breathe Liverpool just like we do. And they're just, stone's throw away from the actual stadium, the players and all that kind of stuff. To want to come back to our humble town and to, our audience is fantastic, to say the least. We've been selling tickets like they're going like hotcakes. We've got not only people from Toronto though, or Ontario, we've got people coming from the US. My good friend Crumpy, shout out to Crumpy. Crumpy's coming from Atlanta. We've got some folks coming from all over the place to come to this prestigious event. And it's such an informal kind of dynamic. Have you ever seen the Anfield Wrap? They talk, they're humble, they get into the crowd, you have beers with them. It's a great experience from that standpoint. So, from a fan perspective, being, several thousands of miles away, this is another thing that just brings you close to the club. And then you can relate to the things that they're talking about. You can feel the passion, you can feel the engagement and all that kind of stuff, which is great, right? And as fans, we live and breathe like this sport, we live and breathe this team, and to get these folks to come to our space and just break bread with us, just opinions, thoughts, where we are, and we're not forgotten in Toronto, right? We're putting our names out there, so this is a great experience to have them back, and we look forward to it. So get your tickets, because they are going fast.
Dan, Youssef, anything to add?
I love the Anfield Wrap. I'm going to do my absolute best to make it this time around. I wasn't able to do it last year, but I'm closer now and stuff like that with logistics. So I definitely want to make it this time. And I listen to their podcasts every morning, probably on my way to work. Like they're such good, humble, like down-to-earth people, and they make you feel really close to the city. It's really good as international fans to have such access to them, and for them to come here as well. It's amazing, honestly.
So pre-party at Youssef, is that what I just heard?
Yes,
You're hosting the pre-party,
Let's do
right?
it. No problem. Yeah. LFC pre-party.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience last year as well. Yeah, sorry, just a quick note on it. It was just it's a wonderful event, and at the Loose Moose we had it last year. This year, a little bit different venue, but it's gonna be great. It'll be great.
Amazing. So tickets are already on sale. The easiest way to get them is go on our Instagram, go to the link in the bio. It's the very top thing. We are not just excited to have the lads back in town, but also very excited to promote their show and help them connect with Reds that already either visit us, but also there's so many Liverpool fans that still we haven't been able to touch yet. So come on out, become part of your OLSC as well. And yeah, it's just promising to be an amazing few months, but also such an emotional few months. The emotion today inside Elephant and Castle was phenomenal. We've got Sunday. We're going to talk about that next. We've got Anfield Wrap. We've got the Klopp farewell tour. Just so many games, so much going on. And yeah, we're not even... Sorry?
Boat cruise.
Oh, yeah.
I have a bit of a cough in my throat. Our president, I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, but anyway.
But with that in mind, I'll tell you what, I'm going to start the next section and then I'm just going to go grab something. So I'll leave you guys to talk. So I'll set this off though. Before anything else, let's talk about final part of today's show is looking forward to Sunday. Before we get into the logistics, let's stick with the football first. Who wants to go first? Let's look forward to the Arsenal game. Anyone got any bursting thoughts? They won yesterday. We won today. It's back to being 5 points. English media wants you to believe that they're very much back in the title hunt. They've got to get 6 points more than Liverpool from now till the end of the season. That's not even talking about Man City. Are Arsenal in the title race? What happens on Sunday? Someone go first. I'm just going to drop off because I'm going to go grab something.
Go on, Youssef.
Youssef, yeah.
Are Arsenal in the title race? I think they're in a top 4 race. That's just my opinion. I think they're deeply rooted for top 4. I don't think they're there in terms of a title yet. They have really good players all across the pitch. They've been growing together, but you've seen how long our project took. It's not fair to say that their project, which took about like 2-3 years now, it means it's the finished deal. I do not agree with that. I think we're a little bit more ahead of them form-wise as well going into this. It was a little bit, that game at Anfield was a little bit tricky. I think if you replay that 99 times out of 100, we probably win that game.
Absolutely.
But, it is what it is. The past is the past. I think going into this, especially with the way we performed in the FA Cup as well, I think we should have a lot of confidence going into this. I think we should take the game to them similar to how we did in the FA Cup. And I think it will be a smooth 3 points if we manage the game in the way that we want to. If Liverpool are ever in a control of a game, I think they win the game 9 times out of 10.
I'm just going to jump right in. Are they in the title race? I still think they are. I do watch a bunch of fan shows, podcasts on YouTube, or stream it when I drive up to my work and whatnot. So I do catch like the rounded sort of fan views around, and like the Arsenal, like the predominant Arsenal view is that they know that they're 5 points behind, obviously, but they also realize that they have to play almost perfect ball to even be in the conversation. So like one loss or maybe a draw, maybe a couple draws, and that's basically the league, right? Like so yes, they are, but they're really hanging on the thread. But you never know, they could go on a run, that kind of thing. As far as Sunday, I'm actually quite wary of it because yes, the FA Cup win was great and all that, but they did dominate that first half. Second half, yeah, we definitely had chances, had more possession. We tweaked the setup, the formation, made some changes, all that. But I don't know. I just hopefully no complacency. But the thing is, we have such depth in this team. So even if it doesn't work after 45 or 60, 50, 55, whatever, Jurgen's just going to say, all right, bring on those next 5 troops. And boom, it's like a whole new team, whole new whatever setup. And look who's coming back. Our depth is unbelievable. Like Trent and Robbo, like coming off the bench, like, what an embarrassment. And I don't even want to start on Bradley. Like, it's just, I mean, I saw one tweet literally tonight, and it actually, I was like thinking to myself, yeah, like somebody said, the man just rocked up to Anfield, dropped a Leicester 2019 performance right there and just walked the hell off. I'm like, after 67 minutes, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, a goal and 2 assists. And that's what Trent did. So it's like unbelievable what he did. And this is like his 4th match or 3rd match. It's crazy. Anyway, my thought there. Jake, what do you think?
I think that Arsenal has some good pieces. They always had. I think that sometimes it's the luck of the ball bouncing here and there, but and they do have some Martinelli. So I don't know who's going to play, who's not going to play. Also on our side, I don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play. Like, do you change inform folks right now for the guys coming like that are back from injury? Who knows, right? And what does that play out? I know Andy and Trent got a run out today. It's just a precursor of what's going to happen on Sunday, just to give them a little taste of the action. Like I saw, it was really, really cool to see Andy's face. He was, as soon as he came on, he was so hungry. Like, he was just on. He was getting mad at everyone. Like, give me the ball, give me the ball. He was running. He was, he was just pumping at the bit, which is great to see from that standpoint. And to, of course, echo your point, Dan, we have a great squad that has lots of positions and fighting for positions and a lot of depth that we haven't had in quite some time. In every position, we've got something. And plus, we've got injuries, right? Endo's not here, Mo's not here, and Simi's not here either. So that's different. Imagine those guys. We have a full squad. Imagine and Thiago, of course, Thiago, and Steve too, right? So imagine if we have a full squad of that. Like, what does Klopp do? What does he play? What does he rotate? Fine, we're in four competitions. That's fine, right? And of course, you have that balance. You can try, but I think it's going to be a hard-fought game on Sunday. It always is, And I'm not sure what the prediction is going to be from that standpoint. Do I say I think it's going to be maybe a 2? I mean, I hate to say, even the last time, but the conceding, right? And to your point with Ibu and Virgil, you both, as and Dan said it last week. But I was like, some shit always happens, and some, donkey does something, whereas we give him some space and some deflection happens or something. So same kind of thing with Chelsea. They had a quick second, we fell asleep for 5 seconds and they scored. But I think it's going to be maybe a 2-1. We win 2-1 from that match. Is that?
I think you guys have basically covered everything. I think from my perspective, I was saying this today in the pub as well. I think we're better than Arsenal. Like, I think you can flip a coin, City at their best, Liverpool at their best. We've got 2 things in our favor. We've got the points on the board, number 1. Number 2, the game left is Anfield. So technically speaking, if we each win the same number of points or our games that we're expected to, etc., there's a straight shootout. That's in our favor, and the points is in our favor. So if this was equal or City were ahead, it's a different conversation. I feel like knowing what Klopp's built in 2.0, the way our team behaves, the emotion he brings, the way the leaders have stepped up as well, I actually think it puts us in a really good position. But I think Liverpool and Man City are roughly the same level. I think we are comfortably better than Arsenal. That's my opinion. Doesn't make them a bad team. I think the standard in the Premier League is really high. I think Arsenal are the third best team, but I think they're comfortably the third best team. And what I would say about Arsenal as well is they don't really have too many players that I would personally pick above ours. Now, having said all that, anything can happen in a game. You know, in the FA Cup game, arguably in the first 10, 15 minutes, they could have been 3-0 up, and we're not doing that 2-0 smash and grab later on as well. So while I'm confident in Liverpool and I think we're better than Arsenal, on any given day, any team can be any other team. And the truth is, it's going to come down, Sunday's going to come down to moments, but I'm going to be devastated if we don't win because I think we're better than Arsenal. That's what I would say. Really, it's like if we perform, even if it's away, we should be able to do our business. Now, if today the three of you would be like, oh, we're guaranteed to beat Man City, I'm taking a draw on Sunday, actually. Like in a normal Premier League season, you shouldn't even have to win at the Emirates. But I think we have to because we know what's coming. Like we know what's coming. The other thing I would say, last thing from me, and then feel free to give any of your other points you want to as well. So if you look at the table right now, sure, Man City have got a game in hand, but we're 5 points clear of them. If we win on Sunday against Arsenal, it's 8 points. It's 8 points going into Brentford away. And I know Brentford lost today to Tottenham, and but still, it's 8 points. It's still the scoreboard pressure that we're able to add to Monday. Do I think City are going to beat Brentford? Absolutely. I think it's going to go back to 5. But if we're 8 points clear, it makes their job that little bit harder. And if they don't win, if it gets to 7, then we don't even have to beat them at Anfield. There's a lot riding on I think Sunday's more about the title than it is about Arsenal to me. It's more about what we're able to put on the board. Draw won't be the worst result though, because we can beat City at home.
No, I absolutely agree. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was just gonna say I totally concur. I think the one thing that City has, and yes, I totally know like the psychological advantage of like getting points up and on the board. I think back, like the one league campaign where I think back to that sort of thinking is the 2013-14, right? When they had those games, so they had those games, and we were something like 8-9 points, sort of ahead, and it was almost like beat Palace and or beat Chelsea and then Palace obviously, but this time around I was looking at their schedule though. It seems fairly straightforward for them, especially the depth, especially how they're playing. I wonder if Europe, but Europe starts in March, right? Or for the Champions League campaign like late, so it's not even going to really factor in for them, and they're still in the FA Cup, right? So I don't know. You're absolutely right. They're going to be right there neck and neck. The thing with City that always scares you is that they just don't have the pressure like we do. They really don't have the pressure like we do, and the reason for that is like the big clubs do. Even our famous rivals, or Arsenal. They got on like a lot of pressure. Even in the run-in last year, they had, obviously for good reason, they were up and they somewhat bottled it, and they would even sort of admit that, most of their fans would. But they, like, City can play under the radar. They can go about their business, collect their £500 a week, £1,000 a week checks, and just do the business without really any pressure. And that's credit to Pep, but it's also credit to like the fact that they're just not that famous, put it like that. Yes, they're obviously famous by manufacturing, if you know what I mean. But they're just not as famous. I hate to
Mhm.
say it like that. And even though social media numbers will tell you, yeah, you know what, reach and blah blah blah, they're really not that famous. So maybe that's a hot take. Clip it, whatever the heck you want. But I don't know. I feel like City still have that under the radar sort of run, but they could also slip up as well. And they've shown that this season. So let's see.
And just quickly, just you know why they're like that? It's because they have lawyers. And lawyers take away 115 charges.
Easy,
115
easy,
charges.
man, easy, man.
I don't give a shit.
Is this Law and
lawyers
Order
keep them
or
undercover.
the LFC Toronto show? Is this all?
The lawyers is the lawyers.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing is like you can have Haaland right up top, but if you've got like lawyers threading those balls through, you know what I mean? And like the paralegal making that whipping
That
run,
diagonal run.
you know what I
operating those
mean?
wire
Like,
payments from one
there you
sponsor to
go.
another. Is that what you're saying?
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Those over the top wire payments.
Yeah, it's not good. Folks, that's the end of today's show. Just gonna do a couple of logistics and then we out. First things first, it is a OLSC Toronto Red Day watch party on Sunday. Kickoff's at 11:30, but you have to go check our socials to figure out when you are able to get in. I'm going to crack this joke all season, but Sultan's already lining up, even though he's in Asia, but whatever. So premium members will get to come in first. Then it will be non-premium, so general members and the general admission as well. It's going to be really, really busy. So to avoid disappointment, try to get there as early as possible. I know it's still cold because of the Toronto weather. All of us at Elephant and Castle, any Sly Fox folks here? How's it looking?
I'm going to use tea.
Yeah,
He's gonna be
so you
Elephant
bring your
Castle for me as well.
bring your vocals, man. That's why
All right.
everybody bring their voices. I can see a lot of folks in the chat. Zalil, Ray, Stu, you know, Roham, all these guys. AJ was on there as well. Yeah, just bring it, you know. James. So I'm shouting at everybody. Sachin.
Also, if
Colin.
those folks want to come on the show, just please let us know and what you know.
Yeah. Just roll up on the show, guys. You know,
Liam is typing his next, by the way, just as a heads up. Next one. Last thing before we go, now if you watch the halftime live, you would have seen this anyway, but we have something here to unveil. One of the reasons I was saying Elephant and Castle is because we are launching something new at Elephant and Castle. So first came Body in Toronto, Heart is Liverpool, which is our motto. Second was the LFC Toronto varsity shirt. Both pretty much sold out now. We've got like one or two odd sizes left. These are capsule drops. So once they're gone, they're gone. And then on Sunday, we will be launching our new shirt.
Wow.
So let me just get that in there. Dreams as high as our skyline. LFC Toronto, established 2001. And it's all those trophies that Jurgen won and the CN Tower. So these will be going on sale from Sunday, as if it's not going to be mayhem enough anyway. We're going to have a new fresh tea drop. And again, once they're gone, they're gone. If you're a size medium, once mediums are done, they're not coming back in stock. We're moving on to the next one. So be quick if you want one of these. And they will be in Sly Fox by, I think, the week later. So you don't have to worry too much. They don't go that quick, but they still go pretty quick, you know?
Yeah,
so
they're going.
Yeah, you want to get on that. Anything left to say, folks? That's all from me. Any final words?
Yeah, be early, but just on the tees, you know, like the sizing, like after all those Carlsbergs, I don't know, man. I'm going from like medium to XL or double XL there. Jeez, you know, those Carlsbergs. Get your Carlsbergs, guys.
Fair enough. That's the mic drop right there. We can't do a better ending than that. Up the Reds. Yeah. See you all on Sunday. Thanks for the interaction on YouTube. All the best, folks. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.